Hello everyone, I'm Squallcasting. I've got another game of StarCraft 2 for you to enjoy as part of your daily diet of StarCraft 2. In this game we have Somtozu. He has submitted games to me before. He's in the Masters League, or at least he was the last time he sent me a video. I assume he is still there. And his opponent, Sweatynuts. Oh, some names are hilarious. Now, Sweatynuts is a friend of his, because if you look at the colors, this is purple and green. It is not red and blue. If a game is played on the ladder, it is always red and blue 100% of the time. If you didn't know that, I just educated you, and I'm glad that I was able to bring the enlightenment of knowledge into your life. And I also enjoy that they chose the worst colors for casting, because purple and green, when they're together on the mini-map, they just kind of merge together into this gelatinous substance, and you just can't tell which is which. So this will be some good practice for me as far as my mini-map observation skills, because I'll need to work on that. I have no clue what they're discussing in chat. Sweatynuts clearly has no idea either. So that's okay, I'm not the only one confused about the state of affairs. So Tozu looks like he's probably going to go for the 1-Rax gasless FE. That's pretty darn standard versus Zerg at the moment. Very safe, you can get a bunker up very quickly, get Marines inside of it, and just stay safe. Mr. Nuts is going for a hatch first build. Tozu does scout it with his SCV, so he knows what's up. We'll see if he chooses to try to rally a Marine out there and get a bunker down, but in all likelihood he won't do that. That's a pretty hefty run distance, and yeah, it looks like instead he's going to go for the Overlord. And no gases yet, so yeah, it definitely looks like the 1-Rax gasless FE. 4 drones decide to chase away that SCV, but Nuts does decide to pull 3 back to mining and just leave 1 drone on it. I suppose he was probably worried about there being a bunker going down, so that's probably why he pulled that many, but he is in no such danger. Spawning tool going down in a kind of weird spot. I don't think that will block the drones going for gas, or reroute them, but I don't know. Whatever. Tozu does have a Marine out now, so he's going to be able to repel that drone, and now the drone has to run on home and hope that it regenerates health fast enough to not die. Nuts is trying to get a pair of Zerglings out just to remain safe, but definitely not overreacting to that mild Marine aggression. Definitely a good choice by him, because the Marine's just staying at the watchtower, so that lets him drone up even harder, get his queens immediately, and Tozu taking his expansion there. That's kind of odd. Looks like he's going to make another one here. So this is basically the Terran version of a 3-hatch build. And is he just going to hope and pray that that does not get scouted? Definitely an interesting decision. These Zerglings are moving out to take this tower. We'll see if Nuts decides to scout the 3rd. Does he have a rally set there? Oh, he does not. So for the moment, this will go unnoticed unless Nuts decides to send it down there. But why would he? You kind of never see this. I mean, I am an advocate of scout no matter what, and it's always good to know. But, what you saw at the front here really didn't look different from what you would usually see if it were just a standard 1-Rax expand. So, I don't think he has any idea that this is going on. This will give Tozu a tiny economic edge. I don't think this would have made that much of a difference if it was made, say, inside the base, because it would have lent him that additional SCV production and muling. But, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I definitely feel that the 3rd command center in base is clearly very, a lot safer. Interesting choice. We'll see how that works out for him. Anyways, so Nuts is trying to get his creep spread going. He does have 2 queens out dedicated to that task. They're probably also present just to make sure Hellions don't come and insta-kill everything, because queens are now the hard counter to Hellions thanks to +2 to their range. They are now 5 range. So they are equal in range to Hellions. And if you're good at math, you will know how much range Hellions have. Because 5 is equal to 5. I don't know why I make math jokes in my casts sometimes. Because, like, I'm horrible at math. The only reason I'm half decent is because I've spent over a year working at Till at a job. That's the only reason I'm decent at math. Before this job, I was like, what's 3 plus 8 again? Is it like 13 or something? Oh, man. Anyway, so Tozu is getting Stim first. Does have an NG Bay down. We'll probably start getting +1 pretty soon. Because it does look like he wants to go for a bio-oriented army. And upgrades are so very important. As I've said in almost every single cast I've ever done ever. But for the moment, looks like he's choosing to get a factory up instead. Probably wants to get that medevac production going. Definitely not a bad decision. But hopefully he will start investing in upgrade before too terribly long. Now, Nuts is producing a big round of Zerglings. I wonder if he wants to do an attack or just use them to take out these rocks. And look at that queen range. Isn't that fantastic? They're now throwing little darts. I do think Blizzard plans to change their animation. Queens are actually getting an entirely new model in Heart of the Swarm, which you can see in their new units video feature thing that they did a few days ago. If you haven't seen it, I'll try to remember to drop it into the description so you can check it out yourself. Tozu just going to burrow through these rocks, and by burrow I mean shoot them to fart. And that way he's able to have another lane by which to get to his third defendant. But yeah, Tozu is definitely taking a significant economic lead. He is equal on SCVs to the number of Nuts drones, plus he has mules. So Nuts is going to need something to kind of get him back into this game a bit. I mean, certainly he's not dead, but he's behind. No question about it. He is getting an infestation pit, and really good fungals can change basically everything. We also have +1 for the melee attacks going down, as well as +1 armor. And armor upgrades are so very important, especially against a unit like a Marine that shoots really fast for small amounts of damage. And those armor upgrades just make such a big difference against that. Not nearly as good against something like a Thor. You're not reducing too much damage then. But looks like this Overlord will swing into position. Is he going to see the Marines? I want to watch his cam for a little bit and see if he sees the minerals being mined and then checks how much is left on them. Oh, no, oh, fun. He does have a changeling in there, so he'll be able to see that. Come on, check the minerals. Check. Okay, well, he's still glancing around. This is actually kind of nice, because I don't have, my hands are off the keyboard and mouse. I don't need to do anything right now. And that's rather exciting. Okay, well, he sees that base is up. So he knows that now. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to the everyone cam, because that way I can know what's going on. Tozu is getting an armory now, and it looks like he added on another NG Bay. Changeling finally died. Quite unhappy about that. Looks like he's going for a really big attack. That is a lot of Zerglings. Wow. Let's take a look at the unit count. 74 Zerglings against 48 Marines. The Marines will probably win thanks to medevacs and the fact that Marines are OP. But okay, yeah, looks like he does have Infestor support, but it looks like he wants to fall back for now. I would have liked to have seen him try to get some really good fungals down and gauge into that. But seems like he doesn't want to. Oh, that's because there's a drop in the back of the base. Urgh, purple and green colors, the worst ever. But looks like it didn't actually do that much damage. Just took out the extractor. Didn't manage to kill anything else that I can tell. So, yeah. Oh, purple and green. Anyway, so Tozu just continuing to saturate this base. Looks like it's mining quite nicely. And his economy is pretty darn solid. And only now just a tiny bit behind in workers compared to Nuts. Now, looks like he wants to move up. He does have a siege tank. Next, does he have any other siege tanks? 2 tanks. Not sure where the other one is. Might be somewhere defensive. Or with that group. There we go. Okay. 4 medevacs. And this could be a pretty scary push for Nuts. A lot will come down to his infestor control. If you can get some really good fungals down on the Marines and get the Zerglings in, that will go very well for him. If Tozu splits his Marines well, or has the siege tanks positioned very nicely, then Nuts will be in a lot of trouble. And he sees the army because the army is killing his stuff. And here we go. Fungal's going down. One good Fungal needs another one. And wow, those Marines are melting so fast. 2-2 just shredding them apart. And it's only Medivacs left. And Tozu definitely got the unfavorable side of that engagement. Yeah, 2-2 Lings versus 1 attack Marines. That's not going to go too well for you. Let's take a look at the units lost. Yes, the Terran is winning in the resources lost count. That is never, ever a good thing. So, yeah, we have 3-3 on the way already. Wow. And adrenal glands. So those Lings are going to become even more terrifying. And a greater Spire. Fun. So Nuts might look to incorporate some Broodlords into his army just to provide some stability and just kind of maybe force Tozu to reposition more. Broodlords are kind of like, they're like siege tanks where, you know, you don't want to be too close to them, and if they move up and siege up and you can't pick them off, you really have to back up. It's one of those things that kind of forces you to reposition and move around a bit. He does have 9 Corrupted on the way, wow. Doesn't really have any gas saved up, so he won't be able to make those into Broodlords eventually, but he will... Or rather, he won't be able to make those into Broodlords immediately. I used the opposite of the word I want to use, yeah. But he will be able to make them into Broodlords eventually. Looks like we have 2 prone draw crash going on. There's a group of Medivacs coming down here and another one here. We'll watch this one for the time being because it's larger. Lings are already swinging in position to deal with that. I think an Overlord saw them, or it was this Ling here. And definitely going to lose a lot of stuff there. And yeah, losing both tanks. But here goes the drop here as well. But there are 3 Spine Crawlers ready for that. Wow. That feels a little bit overkill, but it definitely stops it and delays things. Queen going to fight against the Marines, but... a single Queen against that many Marines is not going to work out for you. And wow, Stim tearing down these evolution chambers before they finish. And Nuts is forced to cancel the upgrades. I feel like he shouldn't have canceled the upgrade here, because Tozu didn't get to kill that. And that upgrade was like halfway done, man. You know, so, I mean, certainly cancel if it's, you know, on the verge of dying and it's definitely going to die, but don't cancel too prematurely. Could be he double-clicked and hit escape, in which case he canceled both, I think. But yeah, Tozu definitely doing a nice little drop there to equalize a bit, delaying upgrades, and that just gives him time to catch up. He is 2-1-1 now, so we'll be even in just a moment. And +3 attack is on the way as well. So Nuts restarting his ground armor, restarting his spawning pool, or rather making a backup spawning pool. Interesting decision. Could be he thought it died, or maybe he, you know what, he might have thrown it down when the drop landed because he was afraid it was going to die. Not necessarily a bad decision. You don't want to be unable to build Zerglings for longer than a few seconds, but a whole bunch of Broodlords here, but a whole bunch of Marines that could stim up and kill everything, but there are Fungals on the high ground reaching down and entangling the Marines, but so many Infestors going down to the siege tanks! Oh, Nuts really needed to pull his Lings or just not leave the Infestors in such a vulnerable position. Wow, that was terrible. But that said, Tozu did lose all of his bio, is managing to save 2, potentially 3 of his tanks. Yeah, 3 of his tanks, but this is a big Broodlord push coming, and if Nuts supports it correctly with Lings, Tozu's going to have a very difficult time dealing with it. Nuts has taken his 4th here, Tozu has taken his 4th as well, and a 5th too. So apparently this is in the future of the metagaming where the Terran wants to be up 1 base to the Zerg opponent in order to stay even. I don't know what reality that is. This single Marine is being a boss, going, there are giant terrifying Zerg flyers in the air, but I will chase after them and shoot them with my guns, because that's what they trained me to do in school. And Nuts actually has almost no anti-air. All he has are Fungals. So those Infestors will be able to help a bit, but he's losing, but for the moment, he's losing Broodlords for free, which is terrible. You need to have anti-air support with Broodlords. Especially if you know your Terran opponent has a starport, which they always will, and they can easily start producing Vikings. So he's losing all of his Broodlords and really not doing much damage with it. But that said, all these Lings are getting in here and doing a fair bit of damage. This bunker is being attacked in the most inefficient manner possible, so it can kill as many Zerglings as it can before it dies. That's a bit hilarious, but yeah, these Lings are actually doing quite a bit of damage. I don't know how much they picked off, but yeah, losing all those Broodlords was an absolutely crippling blow. We'll see how he responds to that. Another drop came in, tried to get the Greater Spire, but did not succeed in doing so. Tozu's trying to populate this base with a small village of mules. And Nuts just continuing with the aggression, rallying more Zerglings forward, even though he's like way behind on supply. Where's Tozu's army? Like, he's got a fair bit of stuff here, but it doesn't feel like that much supply in units. I don't know, 42 Marines. Well, whatever. A whole bunch of Zerglings going down there. Wow, Tozu forced to lift the orbital. Zerglings running up there for a moment until they decide to come down. Huge Fungals! Wow, catching so many Marines and just cleaning up all of them. The Thor's not the greatest against Zerglings. It goes down as well. And Tozu definitely looks to be in a rough spot here. 3-3 Zerglings against 3-2 Marines. But when there's just this many Zerglings, what do? You know, he just doesn't have the critical mass of Marines he needs to deal with that many Zerglings. That said, though, the Zerglings are getting split up, and they're slowly being picked off. So, yeah, Nuts just trading so well in that engagement. Lost a lot of Lings, but killed, honestly, way more than I feel he should have been able to. But Tozu just continuing to macro. We'll probably re-land that orbital in just a second. Yep, and throwing down even more production facilities, because why not? And he has a very hefty bank now. Behind on supply, but a huge bank, thanks to being up a base on his opponent for most of this game. But Nuts has transitioned into Ultras. Does he have the armor? Almost. Almost done. It will be done for the next engagement they have, and that will make those Ultras so very durable against the Marines, because I will get them 6 armor versus 9 damage from the Marines, which means that 66% of the Marines' damage will be completely negated. How's that for math, huh? Huh? Anyways, Tozu looks like he might want to do a drop, or it's just going to be Overlord hunting. Not a bad decision. We'll be able to pick off that one for sure. He has remacroed decently, is ahead on supply on his opponent now. And that economic advantage that Tozu had is really showing. Even though he's had a number of pretty bad engagements where he lost a lot of stuff, you know, and didn't kill much with it. You know, he has the economy to repopulate his army and then just kind of keep going. So I feel like Nuts has the superior unit control and has just succeeded more in the engagements, but he has not had the economy to back it up. We do have a Nidus here, so forcing the lift here as well might force Tozu's army back, or he's just going to attack because screw it, I'm far from my base, I want to kill stuff right now. I don't want to run across the map and then kill things. There are some Marines here, but look at how slowly that Ultra dies. Boom! There we go. Yeah, that's how long Ultras take. Look at how many Marines are shooting at that. This is like a scene out of, oh gosh, what's a good movie example? Where, like, you've got, like, a million... This is like War of the Worlds, where you've got the entire U.S. Army against a single, like, alien walker, and they can't do anything against it. Except in this case, the alien walker would not die to a common cold. I'm pretty sure Ultralisks are immune to common colds, because they're frenzied. Immune to snare, stun, and mind control effects. I'm going to consider the common cold a mind control effect, so definitely immune to that. Here we go, Ultra swinging on up. Tozu just not really microing his units all that much. I think there was a Baneling in the mix there too, because I saw a bit of green. And here we go, Ultra's marching forward once again. Tanks unsieged, we're running for it. But Ultras apparently run faster than tank treads, which means Ultras are pretty good, because real-life tanks can actually drive really fast, even across uneven terrain. But for the moment, Nuts decides to pull back, and that is a psychotic number of infestors. Oh my goodness! He is going to be able to fungal until the day he dies. Yeah, we got another Nidus coming up here. going to be able to force this base to lift once again. Has some roaches in the mix now. That's a bit of an odd decision. Usually wouldn't see roaches late game. And move commands them through the army as a sacrifice. But here we go. Army moving forward once again. Tozu is in a good position. Nice spread. But here we go. Ultras charging in. Okay, the roaches go behind the ultras. That's pretty cool. And so many infested Terrans going down. Oh, wow. Once those all hatch, they are going to shred everything. Or they're just all going to die really fast. Wow. I feel like Nuts should have used that energy more for fungals. Because those infested Terrans didn't really do anything. In fact, they did exactly 0. Throwing down some fungals now to try to cover his retreat. And he has the energy for it. Burrows, ooh, bad decision. The Marines are definitely going to get 1, maybe 2. They do get another one. And, yeah, Nuts just in full retreat here. And this feels a lot like when he lost those Brood Lords earlier. You know, he lost some, he's losing high-tech units for really no reason. And, oh, losing even more now. Thor's so good against infestors. And, yeah, what I said earlier about Nuts having the better unit control, not true in that engagement. But here we go, more units streaming on forward. Both players just rebuilding, and, yeah, Medivacs pick up the Thor, which is nearly dead. Neither Roaches or Ultras have a leap ability, which I want them to add. Which I'm pretty sure I talk about every other game, but whatever. So let's take a look at what's going on. So we have ship weapons rank 3 coming up. That's interesting. Could be that he's still worried about Brood Lord, so he wants his Vikings to be really good. This base is still being denied. That's pretty awesome by Sweatynuts. We also have vehicle weapons rank 2 coming down. I would have thought that one would be further ahead than ship weapons. You know, because mech has been a larger part of his army than his air. But in any case, this does finally get cleaned up. Base re-lands, repopulates with mules, and continues onward. These overlords do have the movement speed upgrade now, so you're going to be scouting with that a bit, I suppose. Oh, this is a different version of the map. Usually, there's a single creep tumor there. But instead, there's rocks. Yeah, I mean, if you check out the games I did just earlier of Bomber versus Ostigi, you would see there was a creep tumor. Huh, interesting decision. I'm not sure who changed that and why, but I think I like that a little bit better. Because with the creep tumor, it just means that the Zerg just has to kill the creep tumor and then immediately build their base. Terrans and Protosses have to kill the creep tumor and then wait. But we got double Nidus going on. This one's done. Might unload to kill the Rockstar in a moment. And here we go, another one coming up. And he is unloading directly into the main. There are so many exposed production buildings here. And Tozu's entire army is here. Oh, this is a rough position. Nuts might be able to kill quite a few buildings before Tozu can respond. Some Marines coming back now. But, wow, that's a long ways to run. They're actually taking the longer route because he didn't lower that supply depot. Let's see here. He's lost several barracks. Might lose a starport as well. There isn't actually that much in this attack. Pulling a missile turret. Yeah, looks like he'll probably fall back at this point. So, feels like he didn't actually bring that much stuff with it. But he did kill some barracks. So that's always good. Well, it looks like Tozu's going to reposition that command center to... Where is it going, actually? I'm not sure. Whatever. He's repositioning his command center. So, Nuts has cleared up those rocks. So we'll probably get a drone over there to take the expansion pretty soon. And I love seeing that kind of thing. I mean, if you've got a Nidus worm anyways, you might as well use it to get island bases. It can be a little bit risky against the Terran because drops are always a threat. But I don't think Tozu's ever flown down there. Anytime he's gone for a drop, he's gone like this. Or like this. But he's never actually checked that base actively. Because it's the furthest base from his main. So, you know, you're just not thinking about it as much. It looks like Tozu pushed out a bit, but there's a whole bunch of stuff there to repel him. But that's a lot of Thors. And Thors are really good against Ultras. He doesn't have the upgrade, though. I would love to see that. As it is pretty good against Thors. At least Ultras, I feel. Big engagement going on, lots of ultras dying, lots of other things dying. Thor's all gone. Lots of bio getting shredded now. We have a flank from behind, but it's not that much. And there we go. Those are the good fungals I was looking for earlier. And all that bio is dying. And it looks like it'll just be the one tank left. Or not. Okay. I thought he was going to kill that Marauder and then take out the tank, but whatever. And Muta's now. Okay. Interesting decision. Muta's at the 35-minute mark to incorporate into your main army, so that way they can do their glaive worm bounce and deal as much damage as possible. Nuts is clearly a little bit upset about the state of the Terran race. Oh man, but here we go. Looks like Nuts might engage in again here. Here we go. Muta's magic boxing, so that the Thor doesn't instantly kill them all. Ultras come out to help out, and I think Nuts will be able to hold this. Tozu is rallying some stuff in from behind, but Nuts has a fair bit. Needs to swing these unit forward to attack and help, but isn't. Definitely a bit of a mistake there. And there we go. Ultras moving forward now, cutting everything apart. This, apparently this orbital is a scouting orbital now. The slowest scout of all time. Let's take a look at upgrades again. So missile attacks rank 3 will be done soon, so that will make the road much more beefy. Vehicle weapon attacks 3 finishing up as well. Tozu continuing to push at the front. Big swell of Zerglings going to come out any second now, and that will help clean it up. But these medevacs have done so much work. There's so many of them. They've been alive so long. Medevacs are so good. Here we go. Lots of Zerglings. I'll probably be able to clean it up. Tozu trying to micro back as best as he can. Not sure why he's splitting his Marines, seeing as it's Lings, not Banelings. But yeah, he is in full retreat. And looks like this orbital might just kind of go up here and take this space. Wouldn't be a bad decision. Or this one. If he wanted to take this one, he would need to get some Marines there to clear up the rocks. So I really hope Nuts takes this base. Okay, there we go. Finally moving some drones out so we can go take it. I wish he'd taken that like forever ago. That income would have really been a big benefit to him, because now he's basically down to just one base. This is ridiculously saturated, but there we go. Hatchery building now. This orbital is down here, almost mined out here as well, so both players getting very low on minerals, and it's getting to a point where they have to expand to risky locations, because while I feel this is somewhat safe, that's only because Tozu has never checked it. You know, like what? The perfectly timed scan? Wow. Okay, well, he knows about it now, so it is no longer a safe base. Nuts should probably look at taking this one now and then try to defend it with his army. We'll probably see a drop down there soon-ish, although the armies are posturing right now, so Tozu probably doesn't want to split up his army at this moment. These Broodlords are so exposed. Tozu does not have any Vikings. But, okay, good. Nuts is moving up some units to help protect them. Tozu looks like he might be trying to flank a little bit with tanks. Wow, putting it right behind the clouds. That's kind of neat. I like that. And here we go. Thor working away on the Broodlords. Dealing damage. Marines are shooting in vain at 3 units. And so many Zerglings just wrapping around that segment of the army and killing it. But there's a really nice tank spread here, and Nuts cannot engage into that, because if he does, he will die. But here we go, surging forward, taking out lots and lots of Marines. I don't even know what's going on, because there's so much death and carnage. I'm pretty sure the Zerglings have killed most everything, but Tozu has a pretty significant supply lead now. These tanks are doing so much work, although they are killing each other in the process. But these Broodlords starting to go down, and Nuts calls out the G, which means good. So yeah, well played by Tozu. Thank you for sending me this game. It was fun to cast. I hope all of you that have been watching this enjoyed it. And I will see you guys later.